When one side only of a story is heard, and often repeated, the human mind becomes impressed with it insensibly. Gentlemen, you will permit me to put on my spectacles, for I have grown not only gray, but almost blind in the service of my country. I am particularly obliged in your favor of the rum out of your own private store. I shall always remember my duty in drinking of it, and then your honor, health, can never be forgot. For I love to indulge the contemplation of human nature in a progressive state of improvement and amelioration, and if the idea would not be considered as visionary and chimerical, I could fondly hope. One of the expedients of party to acquire influence, within particular districts, is to misrepresent the opinions and aims of other districts. The situation in which I now stand, for the last time, in the midst of the representatives of the people of the United States, naturally recalls the period when the administration of the present form. Unless someone pops in, unexpectedly, Mrs. Washington and myself will do what I believe has not been done within the last 20 years by us, that is to sit down to dinner by ourselves. A good moral character is the first essential in a man. It is therefore highly important that you should endeavor not only to be learned but virtuous. I shall expect you will confine yourself to your studies, and diligently attend to them, endeavoring to make yourself master of whatever is recommended to, or required of you, the hours allotted for. Love is a mighty pretty thing, but like all other delicious things, it is cloying, and when the first transports of the passion begins to subside, which it assuredly will do, and yield, oftentimes too. I will not give up the hope of seeing you at Mount Vernon, before I quit the stage of human action, the idea of out be too painful. For myself, the delay may be compared to a reprieve, for in confidence I can assure you, with the world it would obtain little credit, that my movements to the chair of government will be accompanied with something is due to the man who puts his life in his hand, hazards his health and forsakes the sweets of domestic enjoyments. My brave fellows, you have done all I asked you to do, and more than can be reasonably expected, but your country is at stake, your wives, your houses and all that you hold dear. You have worn yourselves. Without virtue and without integrity the finest talents of the most brilliant accomplishments can never feign the respect or conciliate the esteem of the truly valuable art of mankind. While we are contending for our own liberty, we should be very cautious not to violate the rights of conscience in others, ever considering that God alone is the judge of the hearts of men, and to Him. At a time when our lordly masters in Great Britain will be satisfied with nothing less than the deprivation of American freedom, it seems highly necessary that something should be done to avert the stroke. I shall not be deprived of a comfort in the worst event, if I retain a consciousness of having acted to the best of my judgment. Remember that it is the actions, and not the commission, that make the officer, and that there is more expected from him than the title. It is with pleasure I receive reproof, when reproof is due, because no person can be readier to accuse me, than I am to acknowledge an error, when I am guilty of one, nor more desirous of atoning for. I have diligently sought the public welfare, and have endeavored to inculcate the same principles in all that are under me. These reflections will be a cordial to my mind as long as I am able to distinguish the ways of Providence being inscrutable, and the justice of it not to be scanned by the shallow eye of humanity, nor to be counteracted by the utmost efforts of human power or wisdom, resignation, and by the all-powerful dispensations of Providence, I have been protected beyond all human probability and expectation, for I had 4 bullets through my coat, and 2 horses shot under me, yet escaped unhurt. The right wing, where I stood, was exposed to and received all the enemy's fire. I heard the bullets whistle, and, believe me, there is something charming in the sound. I hold a maxim no less applicable to public than to private affairs, that honesty is the best policy.